Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Give me just 1 second while I get all of our new subscribers caught up on what's going on with this old Fury back here. So yeah, for all you newbies out there, first of all, welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. We've got a 1972 Plymouth Fury, and we drug this thing out of the woods where she's set for a good 10 years. And we've been making videos getting this thing up and going again. Now, when I left you guys last, we were sorting out an ignition issue. We didn't have any spark. We got that all figured out. We're good to go. We're running again. We were also smack dab in the middle of an exhaust project. We're welding all brand new, true dual exhaust, meaning that they are dual all the way out the back, none of the 2-into-1 or any of that mess. And well, that took a little bit of work, and I've got it all ironed out now. I'm going to show you guys my idea, what I came up with. So yeah, that's where we left off on the exhaust project last time. We just kind of dumped them right there and went on with it. But I don't really like that. I want to run it a little bit longer. We had talked about running it down the side of the drive shafts, you know, maybe bringing it over and going down the side of the drive shaft. So I already did that over on the driver's side. Check it out. All I had to do was cut this and spin it. You see here, that's where the exhaust tip used to point down, right? Like that side. Well, all I did was just turn it, and then we cut another piece for an elbow and then ran it right down the side of that drive shaft. And now we're dumping out back there by the rear axle. I think it's a little more suitable. What do y'all think? I think that's going to help us with things like exhaust fumes and whatnot. It'd be a lot better having it come out right here. So yeah, right there around the front tire is where it's coming out now. I think that's going to be much better. So give me a few minutes. I'm going to finish welding that all up, and then we're going to move on to the fun stuff, man. I got a really cool video planned for you guys. We're going to put this guy on. We're switching over to 4-barrel, y'all. That 02 barrel is on its way out on this video, so stay tuned, man. We're going to get this thing fired up. You guys are going to finally get to hear the exhaust. It's running terrible with that 02 barrel not working right. So anyway, let's get past this and move on. Okay, so final piece going in. Let's see. See if we get this twisted just right to kind of match the other side. I want my tips to kind of angle down. About right there. Scoot this over a little bit closer to the drive shaft. That way it matches the other side just right. Something like that ought to get it, man. We'll get this welded in, and then we got to take it all apart, finish welding, everything like we did this side, but I'll get it knocked up. That little squeak sound you heard there at the end, that was the sound of me running out of welding wire. So I went down, got some more of that, and I did come back and I went ahead and just finished that exhaust up off of camera. It's done. Let's get underneath there and let's see what we came up with. So there it is. She's all welded in, both sides, all the way back there to the back axle is where we dumped it off at this time. I think it was just a little bit too short before. I've got some exhaust hangers down there that I made for it. They're mounted on rubber, so that ought to give us a little bit of play for vibration and whatnot. So yeah, you see there, all we had to do was turn those exhaust tips 45 degrees, run everything over here to the middle of the car on both sides. You see that? Pretty nice. And then it just runs right down the drive shaft tunnel, and it kind of goes up in the tunnel just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just enough to kind of hide it, keep it from sticking down too far. And then of course it just dumps right back there at the rear axle. So yeah, before they kind of came out right here, that was in the middle of the door, so pretty short. I think a little bit too short actually. So this way it's more back here in front of the rear tire. I think that's a little more acceptable. So the real question is, how does it sound? Well, we're going to find out as soon as we swap out this manifold and the carburetor. We're going to go 4-barrel like I'd mentioned before. It's going to make it run right. She doesn't run right now. She sounds terrible, and I'm not going to put you through it. So let's go ahead and swap this out. I think I'm going to start out by sliding a drain pan under here. Just drain out some of this antifreeze. get our radiator hose off of here. We don't need this in the way. We got this one to take off, and then we got this little hose here that's going to have to come off as well. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the entire hose all the way off instead of just kind of trying to bend it out of the way. Let's just take it all the way off. Move it to the side, get it completely out of our way, why not? That was easy enough, right? This is a brand new hose and brand new clamps, so I don't want to lose any of it. I'm actually going to kind of tighten my hose clamps down on there just a little bit so they don't slip off and fall on the floor somewhere. I'll go stick this in the trunk of the car, and then we'll have it later when we need it. Won't even have to hunt down the clamps or nothing. I think next we should get the fuel line out of the way. We'll disconnect this off the carburetor. Got me a little rag here, so in case any fuel comes off, we won't make too big of a mess. Huh? Nothing came off. Lucked out. I'm going to do the hose clamp trick again. Just don't want to have to hunt these down. These are all brand new. I've already replaced all these lines, this fuel line, fuel filters, everything. It's all brand new, so I don't want to lose any of these little hose clamps. Why make the job harder? Let's see, this alternator wire needs to come over kind of out of the way a little bit. I think that's got enough slack in it. We can just move it over just like that. Easy enough. Let's see, what's next? I'm going to leave my spark plug wires attached. No sense of taking any of that off. The 360 Chrysler, in case anybody doesn't know, you don't have to remove the distributor to get the manifold off. That's kind of cool, right? Oh, and hey, let's not forget our heater hose and this other little hose we talked about a second ago. Both of those have to come off. Brand new hoses again. All this is brand new, so we don't want to get too rough with it and start breaking out pliers and trying to get the stuff to break loose. Hopefully it will actually come off without too much trouble, since we just put it on here not too long ago. I say that as it's fighting me. Uh-oh, he's about to start prying on stuff, you guys. Just said I didn't want to tear this hose up, and now I'm getting rough with it. It's okay, we're just barely kind of breaking it loose there. That's all it took. Now we can get it to come off of there. Good. This one seems like it's going to come right off, actually. Yeah, that one wasn't bad at all. Okay. Well, we're moving now, y'all. We'll have this thing off here in no time. I think now we'll get the coil out of the way. Just a couple wires, we'll have that right off. Don't lose your little tiny washers. You guys remember these little bitty washers? Don't lose those. Guess it wouldn't be the end of the world if you lost it, but those do help when you're putting the wire back on. It helps keep from spinning the connector, you know, having the washer, so don't lose them. Okay, there's that. Couple of bolts, and this will come right out of here. Just take the bracket and all, you know. Pretty simple. It's a couple of 9/16. This other end actually comes out a little fork, you know, so you don't even have to take the whole bolt out. We'll stick this one back in so we don't lose it. Like we always do, I like to keep, anybody that, you know, follows the channel knows, I like to screw all the bolts back where they go, if possible, as many of them as I can. Here is our vacuum line for the vacuum advance. We can go ahead and pop that loose, get it over here out of the way. There's another little tiny vacuum line. This one here, we'll pop it over, get it out of the way. Let's see, another vacuum line here. This is for the brake booster. We'll pop it off. Oh, that one was on there. Yeah, this one comes over to the brake booster. We can push it off over here out of the way. Here's another one that goes over to the valve cover here. Boy, that one's on there. Might have to get the screwdriver back out on that one. Yeah, sometimes you got to get a little persuasive with this stuff. That one's gonna fight me the whole way, I guess. Come on now. Oh, finally. Victory is mine. So this is where everything's gonna get a little bit tricky for me. I'm not familiar with any of this Mopar throttle linkage. Got a little tiny pin holding this one on. This actually goes to the gas pedal itself. I think it'd probably be smart if I stuck that right back where it goes so we don't lose it. Right back in the hole you go. All right, there's that. Let's see, we got to get in here and figure this out. I think what I'm going to do is just take this one loose. I believe this has to do with the kick down. If I take this one bolt out, I think that's going to undo this now. We'll take note. You see how it left an impression on there? That way we can put it back right where it came off. Adjust it just right. I'm going to put that bolt back in. So yeah, that did free us up there. Now that can just kind of go back there and be out of the way. Let's see, we got another one here. It looks like it's going to follow the same procedure. Let's see if we can't simplify this the best that we can. Basically, my thought process behind this is to keep everything, all of this stuff together, and then just unbolt it and put it over on the other manifold. That's the plan anyway. Wouldn't surprise me one little bit if I didn't have to do some modifications, but that's okay. We will figure that out when we get to it. You guys, this one's fighting me all the way. It's just one stupid little nut underneath here, and they ran the cable right over the top of it, so it's not the easiest to get your wrench on, but we're getting it. So here we go. This should free us up from all of the throttle linkage and kick down and all of that stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so that comes off there, and this comes off right here. Let's keep them together. Let's put that back where it goes. Okay, and then we will swing all of this over here underneath the spark plug wires. It's looking sketchy, but don't worry, it's not going to break. I'm not bending it in half or anything, but yeah, you would want to be kind of careful with some of that. Okay, so as you can see, we are now free from the vehicle. Everything is just mounted to the manifold itself, which is totally fine with me. That way we could just kind of take it off as one piece like I'd mentioned. So got me a 9/16 socket. I've got a 9/16 wrench, and I do believe that is all we're going to need to get in here and start breaking all these bolts loose. And we're going to go easy with it. We're not going to use any power tools. I don't want to break anything off. Oh man, wouldn't that suck? Something as simple as this being turned into some all-day fiasco over a broken bolt. So we're going to kind of go easy with it because I don't know exactly what to expect. I mean, we're dealing with a 50-year-old car, and there ain't no telling how long all this has been on here, or if it's ever been redone before or any of that. So anyway, get these all broken loose. We're just about halfway there already. So there's all of those. These manifolds are actually worth a little bit of money. We could actually sell this thing and get some of our money back. I mean, it ain't worth much, but you know, I think they're worth about 75 bucks now. These old manifolds. It ain't worth nothing to me. Old boat anchor. There we go. So far so good, you guys. So far so good. Everything is coming loose with no issues. Gotta love that. Yeah, we're on the home stretch now. Everything's coming loose just like it's supposed to. Nothing's breaking off. That is always good. Let's see, one more. We're down to the last one. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is definitely the hardest one. Let's save the best for last, right? Golly. Wow, that one's in there. All the other ones seem to be really easy compared to this one. Here's the one that's been fighting me all this time. I was expecting to pull it out and have something like wrong with the threads, but no, it's all still good. Everything is still good. Let's focus. There we go. All right. So we're in good shape still. Yeah, the rest of these are coming out just fine with ease. Not fighting at all. Not sure what was going on with that other one. Yeah, you gotta love these big old cars, man. You can just sit right up in the engine bay and work on them. Can't do that with no Toyota. Yeah, most of these you could get out with a ratchet and a socket, but these up in here, you kind of got to get in here with a wrench. Yeah, most of these you could get a socket on, but some of them, you kind of got to get in there with a wrench. Still pretty easy, though. None of this is fighting at all, except for that one back bolt was just a little bit difficult to get out. But even it didn't put up much of a fight. Here's another one. I was wondering if this back one was going to fight us, and no, it did not. It came right out with ease. So that's cool. Let's see. We're just about to finish up. Got two more after this, and this thing is coming off of here. And then there were two. Let's see. We'll get these right out of here from the looks of it. They're not putting up a fight at all. Last one. What do you got going on out here? This is the Copart $200 Beamer. You guys remember this thing? We made a video on this one last summer, and basically what we were doing was turning it from a four-wheel drive, you know, all-wheel drive is how these things come, and he turned it into a two-wheel drive. And why, dude? Why would you even do that?
Because
tell it. It's because he wants to do donuts. But hey, whatever. Now we've got a confession to make. We made a video on this, like I said, last summer, and we were talking all about how we can't believe this old thing's still going. This old $200 Copart car started out as a basket case, and lo and behold, he's been driving it all these years, and everything is doing great, right?
Yeah.
Well, it broke down the very next day, and it hasn't ran since.
Yeah, that was like
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Almost a year. Almost a year ago. Yeah. But you figured it out, didn't you?
Yep.
He'd watched a ton of YouTube videos, and he was doing all kinds of research on this thing. And I mean, everything from yanking the starter off of it, which was no fun, right?
No.
All the wiring, tracing wires and doing all that stuff. And you know what? Like I always say, most wiring issues can be traced back to a bad ground. And that's exactly what it turned out to be. He found it, he fixed it, and she's running again. Put it on the old battery charger. That's to be expected. He literally drug this thing to the back 40 and left it. He was so damn frustrated and discouraged by it, but he finally figured it out, and we're going again now. That's a nice little key you got there.
Thanks, dude.
You sure you bought this outright? I told you she's a runner again. You're working on your Chevy Love too.
Yeah.
So this one was having an issue too with no spark. Now he went through and pulled the motor, rebuilt this thing from top to bottom. It's got a new clutch in it. It's got new everything. And when we went to put it back together, she would not fire. And he finally figured that out with that guy right there. Yeah. So yeah, $400 later, and this thing actually runs again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it starts right up perfectly.
So here's the old GMC. He's been working on it. He's replaced every sensor on this motor. Am I right?
Yep.
I think you probably got $600 into this thing just in sensors and every kind of damned EGR valve and throttle positioning sensor, mass airflow sensor, You even redid the spider injection, put brand new spider injection, right?
Yeah. All that's plugs, wire. I mean, just everything. I got my money out of it. That's $600 for a truck and $600 parts.
Brand new distributor, brand new fuel pressure regulator, spark plugs, wires, fuel pump.
Yeah, I got a fuel pump, a brand new one on it.
Sending unit,
Fuel
filter.
Yeah, just
dropped
everything.
the tank, cleaned it out. You did it all, man.
Everything. And then the bad part about it is got about 3 days worth of it, and then they had like a water hose adapter right here, and it blew on me.
Oh, so you fixed that too then?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, after all that, he finally got it running right, and it actually runs very well. Purring like a kitten. That's the hose you're talking about right there?
Yeah.
Split wide open, didn't it? Damn, he even replaced the door handle on the passenger side. Well, you're a nice guy.
Oh yeah, check.
Got a mirror, look at that.
$60.
$60 for a used mirror.
Yeah.
What in the world? I'm thinking the salvage yards have lost their minds at this point, because it's getting to where we could just buy the stuff new, cheaper almost.
Yeah.
And you save gas. So that brings us to this one here, you guys. I know y'all all wondering about it. So me and my daughter's been working on this over on her channel. Me, myself, and Darlene. Go check it out. If you haven't already, you're missing out. I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek, man. She's back in there. But does it run? Well, you'll have to wait and see on her next video, which will be coming out real soon, man. We're gonna get that all put together for you guys, and you don't want to miss it. All right, so there's just some updates on some of the other projects. Now it's time to get back to work. Wedge me a little screwdriver right up underneath here. You want to be careful when you're doing this. Don't want to damage anything, but we're replacing this, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's get that to go underneath there. Yeah, that hollow sound, you can already tell it's trying to come loose, so that's good. She's not even going to fight us. There we go. We was kind of hanging up on the valve covers there a little bit. It would be a lot easier if we pulled the valve covers off. Probably should have just did that. I bought new gaskets and everything for it, and they are coming off, but whatever. Whatever. She's coming off. That's all that matters. Make sure we're not hung up on any wires. There we go. Yeah, this thing weighs a ton. Well, it doesn't look too shabby down in there. I don't see anything out of the ordinary or anything. Sometimes when you get down in there, they're nasty, like lots of carbon buildup and just chunks of nastiness, and I don't see any of that in here. Looks actually pretty good. Alrighty, everybody, so I want you to bear with me on something here. So in an effort to try to generate just a little more revenue around here, I'm going to take some of you guys' advice and actually split this into 2 videos. So don't worry, the next video is going to be coming out very quick. We'll get all this put back together, and we'll finally have this thing running right. I'm going to show you guys exactly what was wrong, the reason that it wasn't running right to begin with. Some of you guys know about this kind of stuff already, but right here in the base plate of this carburetor, that is the shaft that comes all the way through that is attached to your throttle. When you crank the throttle, that moves right here. This moves, it spins, and that's what your throttle blades and everything are attached to. Now the problem is that it leaks right there. It's got a horrible vacuum leak, and it just runs terrible. Even though we rebuilt this carburetor, it just runs like junk. Aside from replacing this bottom plate, I don't really know what you could do about that. I've never really dealt with that issue before. In a situation like that, I typically just replace them. And it was the perfect excuse to do this little upgrade, I think. I mean, Mrs. Beard fell for it. So lucky for me, I had a 4-barrel Edelbrock carburetor sitting around that's going to be perfect for this project. So the only money we really had to spend on it was for the manifold. The manifold actually cheaper than replacing that 2-barrel, so I think we did all right. It justified. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. Channel's growing very well. This whole thing is really awesome. But like I said, in order to try to make a little more money, we're in the slow months on YouTube, man. February and March are not good. So I'm going to go ahead and split this one into 2 videos. And the next part will be out very soon. I'm talking like a day or 2, so no worries. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this all done. I'm going to see you guys next time.